I predict we may have just a couple of things to talk about if Cat stays with us the whole time. It's a Paul's Collectibles production.
It's like wrangling Cat.
Right. Before Cat leaves us again, let's get into this. Look at Cat starting off messing with my concentration already. That was awesome.
What I do.
Yeah, I like Pete. It's like herding cats or cat, whatever. Yeah. All right.
Same thing.
All right. Yeah. Well, now that I've come from the top rope on you a couple of times, Cat, let's go back to being nice. How are you doing today, man? It's good to see you.
I'm hanging in there. Super excited for this episode and talk with you guys, see how you like it, especially. So let's get it going.
All right. Pete, how are you doing, sir? It's good to see you as always.
I'm just here for the snacks. Really, I haven't. No, I'm kidding. I can't wait to jump into it. Great episode.
Excellent. Good to hear. We will run over to the comments. First of all, welcome to the Ahsoka breakdown with Paul's Collectibles. I got Cat and I got Pete, assuming Cat doesn't leave. Just kidding, Cat. I'm not going to give you a hard time anymore. But we'll say some highs and then we'll get right into this because we got a lot to talk about. Oh, check it out. Steve-O. It's always good to see you.
Hey, Steve-O.
Yeah. Michael Hendrickson, OG. Good to see you, man. There's Matt. Yeah, all right.
Matt.
Good. Now, if Rick's here, it'll be tag team Paul time, and I'll be into it. It'll be awesome. Yeah, exactly. Rolando, always good to see you. Let's see here. Coming on down, everybody saying hi. There we go. Jonathan, always full of opinions and information. G-Force, it's good to see you, man.
Hey, G.
Oh, let's go. Hey, we know her every time. There's Hoppy's Creations. Good to see you, sir.
Hello, Hoppy.
All right, coming on down. Oh, yeah. There we go. Blue X. It's good to see you
Blue.
again. Yeah. JT, been around forever. Always good to see you. Mr. B?
Mr.
Wow.
B.
You know what? I can tell you guys it's definitely you two because it ain't me that all these people are coming to see. I am not that popular. White Shadow. That's a cool name. I like that one. Yeah, the Shadow knows. Yeah, there. Okay, good.
There's Rick.
Rick tagged me in that. Yeah. Let me in. It's my turn to hit Paul in the back of the head with my elbow.
Spoilers, Rick.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, it's good to have you guys. We really appreciate everybody joining us in the comments, as I've said 100,000 times before, and we'll continue to say.
Yep.
You guys in the comments really drive the show, and it helps us have a good time. So, oh, wait, hold on. Michael Reed just jumped in.
Hi,
Yeah, there we go. So I'm not going to mess around any further. Let's get right into this. Cat, ladies first, as always. I'm not going to lie to you. I loved this episode right off the bat, but at the beginning, I was like, oh, God, here we go again with the talkie talk, stand around, stoic, arms crossed thing. Tell me what was going through your mind as you saw this and kind of lead us in, ma'am.
Okay, love the episode. Very excited for it. I was okay with this because I'm okay with everything basically, so it didn't bother me. I mean, they got to get their bearings. You know, I mean, they're on the enemy's turf. They got to get their bearings. They can't just run out the ship and be like, oh, we're running. Where are you running to? What's going on? Like, they have to set it up a little bit. So I really liked the scene, and it showed off right off the bat for me of Sabine's hesitation, which I kind of figured, okay, she's having issues. I know where this is going to lead to the end of the episode. So to me, it foreshadowed what she was going to do, because she was so confused, and she was taken back by what Ahsoka was saying. Like, oh, what do you mean there's an issue there? And, you know, Ahsoka's at the other edge. She's been through these situations plenty of times. And if she wasn't involved, she's seen it, you know, with Anakin and then all these other decisions around her. So she's at the other end of, she knows you may have to sacrifice one person for the greater good. So she's okay with that. But Sabine, yeah, she's going to struggle.
Clearly. That's a good episode name for this. Instead of The Dark Jedi, it should have been called The Struggle. I agree. Pete, over to you. As we know, Kat is very optimistic, and I love her take on this because it kind of keeps me grounded. But what say you, my friend, about how we started off again with all this stuff?
Well, I really liked how Spock talked to Kirk about the needs of the men. Oh, wait.
Wait a minute, right? Yeah,
Wrong
exactly.
IP.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
Yeah, I for a hot second I was like, oh no, more exposition. But I quickly let that go because we really got to see how conflicted Sabine is. We wanted, like we knew that, but we really needed to hear it and see her actions and just how emotionally sloppy she is on the inside. Like it's not good. It's not good.
That's a good way to put that, emotionally sloppy. I like that, Pete. Really quick, before I forget, and we're going to stick with you for a second. There's Evan Greg Watts. Always good to see you. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a blast from the past. One of my favorite people. There's Josh. Over at Sith Care Bear. So if I call someone Josh, I'm talking to you, Josh. I'm not talking to anybody on screen, okay? I don't care if you believe me or not. Oh, my God, it ran on down here. Yeah, there you go, Michael Hendrickson. Live long and prosper, Pete.
That's right.
Oh, my goodness. And I think Connor snuck in on us, too. Always got to say hi to Connor. Connor. Yeah. Connor, you're still a moderator. If Matt or Rick get a little out of line, you know what to do. I'm just kidding. Pete, you mentioned emotionally messy, I think was the word inside. Sloppy, yeah. And then, so the very next scene is the lack of emotionally sloppy in any fashion. And we're staring off into space. What are you thinking when we get this one, Pete?
I'm like, oh, we're cold, hard, stone focused here. Get it? Stone focused.
Stone focused. Oh my! Oh, don't shoot the dad jokes.
I care.
Yeah.
It was really hinging on whether or not. No, God, I could just keep going. I take it for granted.
Oh my God, Pete.
All right. And scene. No.
Yeah, and okay.
Seriously, yeah. What a dichotomy once again of just, you see Sabine and Ahsoka and you're like, oh, this is a hot mess. And then you see these two together and you're like, oh shit. Like,
right? Yeah.
This is quickly getting real and effective and they're not messing around. Like it's going to happen. Like the plan is quickly moving forward. Keep that Star Trek.
Sorry, Pete. I didn't mean to. Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh,
but no,
man.
Once again, I am digging Balin's character so much.
Yeah. Josh has actually enjoyed the series overall so far. We weren't so much on Book of Boba Fett, huh, buddy? Someone once said a man and a woman who can stare at the sky have a lot on their mind. Or nothing at all. So I think it's probably a lot of, yeah. Kat, me and my talk, stand around, stare at stuff. I get a little impatient. How about you? I know you're going to have something positive to say. What you got?
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
Again, they're calm. They're calculated. I love Balin and Shin so much more from this episode. Like, I was already enthralled with him and his calmness, his demeanor with everything. And then with this one where she said, do I sense, is that fear I hear from you? And he's all like, no, experience. Just like last week, he's like, oh, it's a shame that we'd have to kill her because there's so few. He knows exactly what's going to happen. He's seen what they're capable of. He knows her. So he knows what she's capable of. She survived this long. She couldn't suck if she, and survive. So I felt like he was like, yeah, it's going to come to us. It's going to come down to here. I know it is from just those few words. And I love him even more from it. So I just want to know more about his character and his background.
I agree. Every time we get to what I thought was the lull, the very next scene drags me back and I'm like, oh, good. We're staring at the sky. And then he starts talking. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So yeah. Pete, we got to stop the presses for a second. Leslie, it's always good to see you. Yeah, she's working away while she listens.
As usual.
Yeah,
I love
exactly.
you. Thanks.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, exactly. If my wife's watching, I love you too. I don't want to get overshadowed here, Pete.
Love you too, son.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Rafie's watching in the other room. Okay. Now that we got that out. Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
So, Kat, we're going to stick with you. Pete put it pretty good. An emotional mess, emotionally messy, emotionally, whatever. Is that what's going on here, or did you read something different from this scatterbrained woman scene we got?
No, she's a mess. I mean, she's so frazzled. She can't even find her ammo. Like, what is that about?
Yeah.
Right?
But-
Yeah.
You're
yeah.
a,
But
you're
I
a
will- I will-
Mandalorian.
Exactly, right. But I will say, I was so excited to see her back in her Mando outfit.
Yeah.
Like, I was upset we didn't see it in the first episode. Was it first or second? First one, when she grabbed her lightsaber. I wanted her to grab her Mando, because she is a Mando, right?
Mhm.
So I'm really excited to see this for her. But she is so, I think from her conversation earlier with Ahsoka, she's so focused on finding Ezra. And then with Ahsoka saying, hey, we might have to sacrifice him for this, I think she is just so nervous about that coming on to her. She doesn't know what to do. She doesn't know her from her head to her butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
So-
point. I'd like to really quick answer a question Jonathan had here. Since when did blasters in Star Wars need ammo? Since the Death Star detention scene where he's like, hey, why are you wasting ammo into the wall? We just don't see it that much, but it's been a thing ever since. So yeah. Some sort of energy cores that ran out there. Pete, what were the thoughts you were getting from watching her tear through her bag trying to be a real Mandalorian again, as you put it?
Yeah, same feeling. I was like, oh, damn, we're getting ready to battle, and you're just like head up your ass.
That's the other side of the dad jokes, dad honesty, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just like, oh, this is going to be good. Because I've said it before. I want Sabine to suck, right? Because it makes for a much more interesting story. I mean, if
Yes,
it was just
yes.
like all of a sudden the Force comes back, I've got it, Master, and all of a sudden she's just with no faults and be like, bleh,
Mhm.
boring. So I
Yeah.
like that she's just a hot mess.
What is it? I think the term is Mary Sue, but I've never been a big fan of that term. I don't like it. It's more like the magical Jedi, where like everything goes right for them. I'm like, I love that she's having problems. It shows a depth of character. Pete, you make an excellent point.
And
Yes.
and again, we get so much foreshadowing. It's just like, oh, this episode's gonna be good.
Yeah, exactly. Pete, before we came online, you said something, and I have remembered that little toy from when I was a kid. We got to Rock'em Sock'em Robots, baby. What'd you think?
Rock'em
Yeah.
Sock'em!
Right, they were even making the noises. Did you love this or what, Pete?
This was great. I even liked that his eyes went, when he was getting ready to fight. Like he went from bright-eyed to, I'm gonna kick your butt.
Yeah. Oh, butt kicking mode. Engage. Exactly. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I like that you can silence a droid by putting your hand over his mouth. I got a kick out of that.
Yeah, right.
That's interesting.
Help.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Help. Yeah, that was weird. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Because Pete, I have it on good authority on my Black Series so much that the speaker's on the back of them. Okay, so I don't know what this is right here. Anyway. There's a no, my
Yeah, I
stupid
quite
It's Old
enjoyed
Republic,
that-
so it's not. It's in the front.
okay.
I like that Huang is not, or Huang, sorry, is not just a cool droid that's like, like C-3PO. You'd never see C-3PO out there like, he's, oh my, and he got ripped to shreds.
Excuse me.
Yep.
Where
Yeah.
Right.
Huang is just like, I'm going to kick your butt. Let's go. Because I'm like, that's an assassin droid. And they were pretty evenly matched.
Agree. I was impressed because I thought, oh, he's just going to rip this droid into pieces, and I forgot this is the one that trained Jedi for thousands of years, right,
Yeah.
Kat?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. Really quick. Now the song stuck in my head. That's because Wu Yang ain't nothing to mess with. Anyway, yeah, Wu Tang. Kat, over to you, man. Were you excited to see Rock'em Sock'em Robots as much as me and Pete were?
I was, except I forgot about Rock'em Sock'em.
Oh,
And
okay.
I thought of the movie Real Steel with Hugh Jackman.
Oh.
Now, those robots are a lot bigger, but he was like pounding into him, and I'm just like, oh, this is like Real Steel. Okay, get him. And I'm like yelling at the TV. But when it first happened, I actually screamed. Like, I'm very easy to scare with movies.
Oh.
So as soon as, because I was like, oh, something's gonna happen, and they do, but I loved it because he didn't back down. He used his little extra gadget thing, and I love that. Even though, like what you said with C-3PO, you can never see him like defend himself, right? He's just gonna yell for help, and he's just
Right.
like, screw this ain't working. Punch him, stab the ship. All right, cool. That works. And then he's still fighting. He didn't give up. He didn't wait for him. He's still kicking butt, because when they come out, you can see him in the background still fighting. So I love him even more. He's sassy and a butt kicker.
Me and Pete got Rock'em Sock'em Robots out of this, and Kat got the movie with Hugh Jackman. I wonder why, Pete. Huh. We'll have to ponder on that for a few minutes.
That'll be another episode.
Listen, right, in my defense, I didn't have Rock'em Sock'em. I know about Rock'em Sock'em. I played it before, but we didn't have it, so it wasn't my first instinct. Okay.
Okay, fair enough. You go with whatever is comfortable for you, Kaz. Yeah.
Okay, mention a hot dude movie. Sweet, I can do that.
Absolutely, yeah. That's just a jealousy thing from over here. I'm never going to be Hugh Jackman.
Bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. I mean, it's Wolverine. So.
Right, yeah, and then I love JT. You go, Cat. There you go. Exactly. Yes. Leslie's got your back. Yeah. Oh man.
We're equal opportunity.
Right. Exactly. And then I love JT. I was worried about the Doctor Who droid for a moment. Then I was like, kick his ass, see bass from was it Dumb and Dumber or something? Yeah, that was cool. Yeah. Oh man.
And somebody else, who was it that brought up like maybe he was gonna like whip out a lightsaber and you were just gonna be like, oh.
I thought that's what he was going to do, and I was going to fall out of my chair backwards. I'm like, oh, wow. But yeah, a lot of people would have liked to have seen that, it looks like. So, yeah.
Well, General Grievous.
Yeah, that he could, I bet he could take Grievous. Yeah, Josh has a good point, especially because he's got those 2 extra arms in the back, too. They're probably prehensile, so yeah. That would have been awesome. If he went all General Grievous, but he was the good guy. Anyway, so. Kat, we'll stick with you for a minute, ma'am, since we're there. We get the first that I'm aware of live action fight scene between this Mandalorian and Ahsoka. I'd like you to talk about, if you don't mind, what you thought about this, how the choreography was, and how it made you feel.
So when I first watched this, I was actually not watching Ahsoka first. I wanted to see if Sabine sucked or not, because I was like, she hasn't been pulling her weight in fights. So I wanted to see, because I was like, she's finally in her Mando gear. Does she have some kind of confidence? So I was more focused on her at first, and I had to go back and watch Ahsoka scenes because I was like, oh, I wasn't really paying attention. I saw she was kicking butt too, but I was actually really proud and happy that she seemed more like her old self from the animation. She's kicking butt. She's confident. She knows what she's doing. She's confident in her abilities. There's no like, I think I can do it. It was just straight up what she was in the animation, which I absolutely loved. When I watched Ahsoka, I liked it better because I know, but previously she's been kind of, 1, 2, 3, kind of stiff with it.
Right.
But I thought this was seamless with them. I thought they played off of each other really well. They really were a great team. So I loved it.
And Kat, did you notice? This is the beginning of what we get as a couple more, but everybody's been complaining about her not really using the Force when she's fighting. And this time she like moved one of the robots in front and stuff like that. Did you think that was an improvement, kind of like what you said or what you saw before?
I mean, I didn't really focus on that because I've seen her use it so many other times, and maybe just because I'm used to it in an animation like she uses it. So I didn't really catch that as like a big thing. I'm just like, good, she helps block her teammate.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there you go.
Teammate
Yeah.
was struggling a little bit, so I was just like, oh, good, she helped take him out. Cool. All right. Well, so I kind of looked at it that way versus what you said. So.
No, and I appreciate that because I tend to look at things from a more martial standpoint to see, are they doing what, stuff like that. So it's good to get the other side of that. Pete, when you saw the cooperation going down here, how she was wielding the Force and things, what did you think, my friend?
I quite enjoyed it. It did remind me of more Clone Wars choreography with, the general, aka a Jedi, taking the lead, and then you've got your clone troopers who are pew 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 with So I thought that was good pairing for this battle. It was a lot smoother, less step 1 2 3 1 2 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did like where she, messed with the droid because it's like, come on, we always use the Force, damn it.
Right. Yeah, it's weird how they tend to cherry pick it for the story. Am I right?
Yeah, it feels like it. I also, right before this moment when they were on the ship and all the power goes out because Huang's kunk into the ship, like damaged what he's just fixed, and it further shows how Sabine is not in touch with what's going on around because she's just like, oh, that's great. You know, the droids messed it up. You know, and Ahsoka's like, no, there's something bad happening.
See, and I think it shows the relationship or lack of relationship she has with him. Because if she was with Chopper, she knows what to expect with Chopper. She understands him. Mm-hmm. She doesn't. Ahsoka immediately, no, it's go time. Let's go. Oh, okay. So I thought that was interesting to see their relationship differ. Which again, right. I mean, if you have someone telling you suck all the time, you may not want to be close to them anyway. So, like,
that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. She seemed pretty matter of fact about it, but she might have been, mentally getting him back. Like, oh, look, he's an idiot too.
Don't stand so close to me.
Pete is doing all the songs from the top 10 of my childhood. I love it. It's great. By the way, had that on 8-track, Pete. That's how old I am. Yeah.
Oh nice.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. So Connor makes a good point that we're actually going to get to here in a few minutes. But yeah, when Sabine was fighting Shin, it's probably not as, trained as a Sith, which when we get there, it's going to be awesome to talk about, Connor, but you make a good point. Yep. Let's see here. Where are we? Okay. Pete, I had mentioned, this was a good episode. It wasn't Shakespeare before we got on. And then immediately we just happened to be on this scene. And I was like, oh, speaking of Shakespeare, foreshadowing much. When he said that, did you catch it? What did you think? And did you think it was going to be the opposite or the exact?
Beware the Ides of March. That kind of...
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as he said it, I was like, oh, damn. But in a good way. Again, I'm like, yes, this is going to go south in a very interesting way, I hope.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So Pete, let's stick with this droid for a second. They've got him more involved since we've gotten to CTOS. Are you happy with what you're seeing from the droid, how they've interspersed him, and the actor that's playing him? I forgot his name. Or is it kind of bothering you?
No. I quite enjoy him because he's not just a C-3PO protocol droid, just being a pain in the ass. Not that I don't love my C-3PO, but I am enjoying him. It's like Balin and Huang, are like two of my most favorite characters.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Because you told me that the droid's going to do it for you in a lot of these things, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Kat, he walks out and he's like, "Stay together. You were always better when that." What did you think?
Thanks for the compliment. It's evident, and they're going to get separated.
Right.
They always do opposite of what the droid says.
Right.
Oh, you're going to tell us, give us great advice. Cool. I'm going to forget about that in about 10 minutes and do the opposite. And then I'm going to blame you for my issue. So.
Yeah. Be home by 10. We will.
Yeah, exactly. No, we won't. Yeah, right. Yeah. Pete and Kat, I don't know. Are you guys able to see the chat before I'm putting them up?
Yeah, I can see the chat. Yeah, because I have it on my laptop.
All right, perfect. There's a comment there from Josh Sith Care Bear that talks about a specific angle of shots. Is that something we want to bring up and talk about real fast? Because I'm not going to lie, when Hera's on scene, I kind of noticed that too, but I don't know if it's appropriate.
Dino made a comment about how she's going to win the award for those best kind of shots. So in Star Wars. So, I mean, it's not bad. I mean, honestly, this does better acting than her eyes. So she seriously needs help. Like, Huang acts with his eyes, right? He lowers them because he's trying to see that he heard something. He heard a twig snap. He acts with his eyes. He can feel emotion with that droid, and it's a dang droid, and I get nothing from her in the eyes, but from her butt, sure, I do.
Okay.
What is that? Yeah. What is that?
Oh.
That's my 2 cents.
I'm not, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's nice.
Pete's like, Leslie's watching. It's nice. And I'll just have a drink now. Yeah.
Listen, we can all appreciate a good badunkadunk. That should be what it is, right? We can all appreciate a good one.
Yeah, I'm saluting not just because she's a general.
No. We don't discriminate with status and booties.
Right.
Agree. One of the other reasons I bring it up is it was so evident that even my wife, who doesn't care a dang thing about Star Wars, sent me a picture of a screen cap, and she's like, "I thought you were watching this because it was good Star Wars," and I'm like, "I am. I'm watching it because it's good Star Wars."
Just because it's a bonus doesn't mean nothing.
Right? Exactly. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. They certainly didn't get her for acting ability.
She was walking with purpose.
Yes, purpose. Yes.
Told you, it does better acting than her eyes. If you rewatch it and just put it on mute and just watch her scenes walking in, you feel more when you see the back than the front.
Kat, my wife already thinks I'm weird enough. Are you not? You're not helping Henny. Okay,
I didn't say in front of her. Dang.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Y'all have alone time or bathroom time? Come on.
Kat is helping me to be more dastardly, Pete. I love it. Yeah. So we're gonna stop Kat from talking for just a minute here, Pete, and go over to you. But unfortunately, we're gonna talk about the same topic because Josh just happens to know how to keep a show going, as I recall.
Right.
But let's talk about the front of her this time, Pete, and the acting. Okay. You know my thoughts on this. This is a character named Hera that's a green Twi'lek, but she's not the one from Rebels. Am I nuts? What are you getting out of this, and what do you think?
No, we've said it before. Say it again. There's just it's off. It is a Twi'lek, but it's not Hera to me. Mm-hmm. That's the only time that when we cut back to her, I'm like, I'm trying. I'm really, really trying to accept you as Hera, and I just get pulled out.
Pete, are you able to put a pin on it? Can you figure out quite what it is? Because I think I know what it is for me. Is there one thing, or is that's the biggest thing, or are you just confused?
The biggest thing is because I'm going back and watching Rebels episodes on top of this to keep fresh. It's the Leku are just they need to be out here. This whole crushed in, streamlined, it's a ponytail is just not doing it. Visually, it's just hanging me up.
For me, it's not so much the visuals; it's that she doesn't seem to have she doesn't have the softer side of Sears. It's all hardware. You know what I mean? There's no softer cotton balls anywhere in there. So she's just angry and stoic and matter of fact the whole time, and that's not the one I.
That
remember.
is very troubling. That it's like all general all the time and no mom. I mean, we'll get there. Yeah, we see Jason again, and it's like,
hey. We're going to talk about that, as I mentioned, because I'm like, okay, this anyway. Yeah, Kat, let's go over to you, ma'am. Are Pete and I crazy? I know you've mentioned the Leku thing. Are you at a point where you're happy with this actress? And if not, why?
No, I agree with you guys totally. It's the Leku drag. I'm getting more used to it, but when I see her, she's still not Hera. They completely changed her design, so it doesn't even look close to her. And then what you said, it doesn't have her mom or her softer side to it. That's her stinking family. Kanan is gone. Where's her softer side? But besides that, I do like, because we complained last episode about her being like, why aren't you just going to go help your friends anyway? You're a rebel. Like, come on. So I do like that we at least got this from her. They did show it. No, I am going. So I am really happy about that. And I think to try to give the same Hera vibes is when she told the guy, what do I tell him? She's like, think of something. To me, he wasn't shocked by that. He's just like, think of something. And to me, I took that as, okay, I've told him this excuse. I can't tell him that excuse. I've told him this one and that one. So to me, it wasn't a surprise and kind of put him on the spot. He was just more of I don't want to have to lie again.
Yeah.
So I do like that because that made it feel more like she's done this before, like she did in the animation. But, so it was a little bit better, but it's still just not Hera, for sure.
Agree. I'm glad you brought that up because I was so frustrated that she was going to be like, well, the politician said no. I'm like, she's just going to quit. Yeah. And this episode, she did redeem herself on that. Yep. So that was good to see. Kat, let's stick with you for just a second here because we've been talking about the emotional side of her and we finally see her kind of be mommy, but she's, going to throw the kid into a ship and take him on one of the most dangerous missions that probably is going on right now. What? You want to help me out, Kat? What's going on here?
Call CPS. I get understanding about you want your kids close to you, but I mean, really? Like, okay, I get it. Again, maybe it's to the, family sticks together. He's got to get used to this because when he gets older, he's going to be a part of this. So he's got to know what he's going to do. And plus, I can watch him better. But I don't think it was that far. I mean, I'm sorry, but could I take Raphael on a different mission or difficult, dangerous mission? No.
Right.
No, absolutely not. His butt would be home. Just saying.
Thank you. Well, let me stick with you just a second, Kat, before I go over to you, Pete. I forgot to, get a slide specifically for this, so I want to talk about it right now. However, after I say this, because it doesn't make any sense, that what we just see here, they at least redeem themselves a little bit, and I'd like to get your opinion on this. He's like, you know what? I've got a bad feeling. What's going on there, Kat, and how'd that make you feel?
Okay, but he ruined the saying. It wasn't the exact quote. Because, hey, instead of just saying, I have a bad feeling, he changed it a little bit. To me, I'm like, it didn't feel the same. I mean, that's a famous quote. So many characters in Star Wars, throughout Star Wars, have said it. I have a bad feeling about this, Master, or I have a bad feeling. Whoever says it. Like, to me, how he said it, I'm like, change the words. You just ruined it. Like, I didn't like that. I didn't like that.
Wow. So, Pete, I'm going to ask you the same questions in reverse order because I'd like to stick with this. When he said, I have a bad feeling, what did you get from that then?
I was like, oh, we are definitely a chip off the old block with Daddy Kanan. Like he's got that force sensitivity. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, for as much as I was protesting, like, you brought your kid? Like, is Galactic Daycare closed today? What?
Yes.
Mother One Daycare is currently closed.
Take your child to work, Dave.
Yes, take him to work. What could possibly go wrong? I was like, oh crap! But then the fact he's like, I got a bad feeling about this. I didn't feel like he wrecked it necessarily. Maybe the delivery could have been a little more ominous to support, the history of that phrase and all these different Star Wars properties. But I took it as like, oh, yep, he's taken after his dad. And maybe that's a little bit why Hera is bringing him with her. Like, I know that you've got some abilities and those might come in handy. Let's stick together as a family unit.
That's actually a really good point, Pete. And this brings up why I enjoy doing these shows, because the three of us got three totally different things from that scene. Because when that little kid, I thought he did a really good job, actually. He looked really uncomfortable. He's like, I have like a sick feeling in my stomach because he doesn't understand when he's feeling and everything. I was like, oh, that's really cool. They brought some family to this wooden couple that I've seen so far. And Kat's like, no, you ruined it. And Pete, you're like, it was good, but it could have been better. So I love it. I love that.
Again, I felt that emotion, but if you're going to play, or you're going to say a famous line that is known throughout Star Wars, say it properly or don't say it at all.
And I don't think that's unfair at all. Yeah.
If you're gonna fan service it,
right?
Service it correctly.
Yes.
But again, no, I mean, I totally felt his emotion. That I'm not complaining about. I'm just saying he said it wrong. So I did feel his emotion and his worriedness. So he did good with that. Just the phrasing was wrong.
Fair enough. So Michael brings up what I brought up last time in that, they did an interesting mix of the DNA on this. He just has green ears and green hair, but he looks like a human otherwise. So yeah, I think that was just a stylistic choice, Michael. I want to touch on something that Josh is going over, and he's in the chat reminding me of why I've had him on one of these shows. And I want to get your guys' opinion. What everyone is forgetting is that these aren't the same characters from Rebels. These are those characters after 10 years of struggle, strife, pain, and loss. The performances reflect the current maturity of the crew. Think about that for just a second before you answer, because we're going to say hi to Dino. What's going on, Dino? Kat, I'd like to stick with you on that point. Does Josh make an excellent point here, or is that just an excuse to pass over on kind of wooden acting and a little bit of ridiculous stoicism? What say you, ma'am?
I will say yes and no. My hang up is, she, like with Hera, she lost so much. She lost her person, right? She lost her soulmate. She lost her one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think that would make her want to hold on more to the family and show more love and fight for them? You know what I mean? To come for that to come across in the acting, I, I, I feel like that would make her more loving, more have more of a fight in her to keep this family together, to look after each other. So I don't care that time has passed. To me, it's lacking, and that's it would make her more so than do the reverse. It's almost like she's gotten colder now that the 10 years has passed, or 9 years, or whatever, however long it was. So I don't like that, because to me, that's not what Hera was about at all. They went through hard times. They lost so much throughout the whole 4 seasons. So, and she never gave up that love. She never gave up that side of her. So I don't see why she should lose that now.
That's an excellent observation, Kat. Two things before I go over you to Pete. Before I go over to you, Pete. Excuse me. There's Gilster. It's always good to see a Gilly. And second, I read a book that's canon where this character and the Jedi, Kanan, where they met for the first time. And ever since their meeting, they were on some industrial planet that was being ruled by the Empire. They've had to give up and sacrifice and go through hard times. So, Kat, I think you make an excellent point. I think Josh may be right, but I also think you make an excellent point as well.
Right.
Why would they suddenly lose themselves after they've won the battle? Pete, I'll keep it short. What say you about all this, my friend?
She's definitely, we got to see that she's like this reluctant general. You know, that rank, I think, has been thrust upon her. There's a lot of weight with that, but at the same time, she's like, yeah, we're gonna go. I mean, there is that glimpse of I gotta go help my friends. I'm gonna go help my friends irregardless. Like, you can tell the senators to go F off, you know, or whatever meeting, you know, I don't care, I'm going. So that was nice to see, but I still feel like she could have delivered these lines so far up through episode 4 a little better. Like they could have done a better take, and that's what we would have gotten.
You know, even if you say you keep everything the same, you can do so. And I'm gonna beat the dead horse with this because I keep talking about this, but to me it drives home the point. If she would work on her eye acting, you show so much emotion with your eyes. If she would change that with certain scenes, or like we said last week, she got down on the level of her son, how much more feeling that would bring out hair more. So just little tweaks. It doesn't have to be huge.
Right.
You want to keep the lines, that's fine. Just handle it, deliver it a little bit differently, and I think that would bring back more of a feeling. So she may not look like Hera, but the feeling of her would be Hera.
Excellently put, Kat. I don't think Josh's point is crazy in any fashion. He makes a good point, but I'm with you guys. She's not, the word I'm looking for is effusive. She's not effusive enough for the Hera that I remember from Rebels. Yeah. And I love JT puts wooden acting when they chop down the trees in the lightsaber battle. I thought, oh no, Hera! Woo, tough crowd around here. Tough crowd. Yeah.
And then he had Jonathan's comment. That was the better take.
That was the better take. Yeah. Yeah. You can tell this is a critique show. We're all huge Star Wars fans here, but you know, if we're going to get up here and talk about it, we got to hit all the aspects for sure. So I love it.
Sorry, Dino. Talking about his woman.
Yeah, you know, no talk about one woman here. What did he say she can do now? I think he said it. Oh, no, that was Josh. She does no wrong, in my opinion. I love that we have varying opinions on this, too, by the way. So, because my favorite part of this character is when she's walking away from the camera, if you know what I'm saying. All right.
Best acting.
Yeah, exactly. Pete, I'd like to stick with you on this one. Kat, I'm not saying this doesn't apply to you, because I know it does. Pete and I are just probably a lot older than you. When you see stuff like this, Pete, and you're like, wow, that's kind of Return of the Jedi. Does it just give you a little giggle, a little tingle, maybe? Happy to see it?
Oh, yeah, I was like, give it to me, baby, give it to me. I like seeing the fleet. Yep. And the red exhaust from the X-Wings. Yes.
Yes. This was a cool shot. Kat, what are you thinking when they do these cinematics of the fleet like this? I kind of get stupid for it, I'm not going to lie.
So I absolutely love them, because to me, it's kind of showing an homage to the original trilogy, which is this is where it's all from. So if you don't love those, you're kind of screwed with other things.
Yeah.
So I
you might be in the
love
wrong
this.
place.
I love the fact that she wasn't going alone. that we got Carson to come back. I was a little upset that Zeb wasn't with him. But I absolutely love this shot.
Nice. Yeah, and everybody, that's the one thing so far that everybody has agreed on. Even Rick. Wow. All right. Look at that. Yeah, exactly. The visual CGI in this show has been awesome as far as the space stuff. I agree. There's Connor. This felt all kinds of Return of the Jedi. I was waiting for the Millennium Falcon to swoop up close to the camera or something. It was totally cool. So, yeah. Everybody. You look at that. And even Rick and Matt. I'm going to cut this out and make it a short on my channel. Everybody agrees about this, you guys. It's awesome.
We like our spaceships. That's it.
Right? It's Star Wars.
It's Star Wars, right?
Yeah. Not conversational debate at the table wars for God's. Anyway, sorry.
No, I think that's what was nice about this episode is it had very good balance between that and ships and, you know.
Mm-hmm. Very, very true. Very true. And you know what? This is awesome that this is brought up because Matt is reading my mind practically.
Yep.
But we'll get there in just a second because I threw this in because the HasLab just funded. So I wonder if this had something to do with it. I will admit that I funded my first HasLab ever, you guys, and it got fully funded, so I get all 4 of my little figures. So I'm very excited about that. So yeah. Even though there'll be thousands of videos on that, Pete, Kat, I know you guys. I didn't ask you though, Kat. You didn't fund it, did you?
No, that's out of my price range. I would love it though. I just want Zeb. That's all I want. I just want Zeb.
Right.
But I mean, I thought it was great. I'm really happy for everybody. So it's awesome. I like seeing the things that actually are fulfilled. So it's great.
Agree. It was kind of sketchy towards the end there. I was like, I'm not going to get all 4 of my figures, but then they came through.
I knew you would.
Yeah, a lot of people did.
I knew. It always goes like that. It had enough momentum that it's like it's gonna go well beyond the 17,000.
They timed it well with the show. I think that helped because at first it was so slow, and then Ahsoka came out. Oh look, we have so many more backers.
Yeah, well that's Jonathan and the Ghost in Live X. Yeah, yep. They put it in right at the end just to push people over the edge, Jonathan. I think you're right. There's tons of great comments in here. Obviously, you guys, I can't hit them all, but I do appreciate it. I try to get the ones that are, going with the conversation. Pete, I'd like to stick with you on this one if you don't mind. And that's the appropriate time for this because this is my boy, Paul Sung-Young Lee. First of all, he's got a great first name. Second of all, I love the everyman characters that we're getting in some of these Star Wars shows. The Andor season. Oh my God, off the chain. Don't get me started. Happy to see the Kim's Convenience back, my friend, or what?
Yeah, I loved that Hera wasn't just going to go on her own. She was going irregardless. And as soon as they cut to Carson, I was like, yes, because he's the type of guy. We've seen him get at the end of Mando season, being very frustrated with the bureaucracy.
Yes,
and that nothing is, it's like this. I thought things were bad when it was the Empire. It's like, You guys suck almost as much. Like, these people need help. Nah, we can't. Fill out form, 22. It was the requisition officer on MASH,
They even got the guy from Saturday Night Live to just camp it up even better. I can't remember the actor's name. He was perfect for that. We're going to need a 9. Oh, God.
But I so bad when they started, you had that quick shot of now it's multiple X-Wings. Like there's a wing of them coming with her. I was like, please be Zeb in there. Please be Zeb. Like, come on. That would have been cool.
That would have been cool. We had a Greedo though.
We did, and he was talking the old gangster slang.
Yes, that's right. Matt cracks me up. There's a poll on my channel community page where you can guess when the ghost goes. Oh my goodness,
that's funny.
So, Kat, I'm going to go over to you here in just a second, but I want to just point out, Jeff Barker. I've never seen you in my chats before. It's good to have you. Thank you,
Mr. Barker.
Good job.
You ever get one of those names and you're like, God, that name sounds familiar. Where do I know that from? Pete, where do I know the name Jeff Barker from?
He is part of the triad that is chasing 80s toys.
Okay, that's where I know him from. Okay, I have seen. All right, well, it's good to have you, Jeff. Thank you. It's always good to have your alumni here there, Pete. Kat, do you care anything about Paul Sung-Young Lee and Carson Teva, or is this just nice to see, or did it get you really excited? What say you, ma'am?
No, I love him. I love him in Kim's Convenience. I actually, he's got his own YouTube channel that I always get pop-ups for his videos. I love, he just seems like a really great human being.
Yes.
And he's a phenomenal actor. So I got super excited. I loved him in Mando. I'm glad that he got back for this. So yeah, so excited for him.
Exactly. I don't collect the Republic or Rebel helmets, as you can see. They announced his Black Series helmet coming. I'm gonna get that one. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I don't know if you keep up with my channel. I actually bought a third-party vendor one, and it was the biggest disappointment I've had in my helmet collecting career. So I'm gonna get a different one. I love Dino. I didn't back the Hazza, but I did back the Hera life-size doll at Moonlight. Jesus, Dino. Oh, you're absolutely unsalvageable, Dino. I love it.
I have a question, Dino. Are you gonna be? Are you gonna dress up as the Hulk when you meet that? When you get the Hera life-size Hera, or you gonna be your other self?
Everybody's
Just
gonna
curious.
be green. Yeah. Oh
Sorry.
my goodness. Yeah.
Hulk smash.
Hulk smash life-size doll. Creepy. Okay. Yeah. Moving right along. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yes, Tim Meadows. Thank you,
Tim
Steve-O.
Meadows. Yes. Thank you, Steve. Yeah. This you guys will be the stream where my channel finally gets demonetized. I can feel it coming. So I don't care. I'm having fun.
Delete after this.
Yeah. To me, Carson should be wearing a red shirt. He's not going to make it to the end of the series. Damn.
Oh God, yeah.
Wow, that's tough. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, right. There you go. I half thought Zeb was going to show up as well. I think Pete.
Yeah.
You guys are. Yeah.
I wanted it so bad. Like, come on. Which they did a brilliant job in having him in that bar scene at the end of Mando. I freaking loved it. That was probably like my favorite scene out of all of season 3. I was like, hot damn.
Was that not just beautiful design? He didn't look CGI at all.
He did not look CGI. They did well picking the same gentleman that voices him in Rebels to do that, because that would have thrown you, out of belief. So good.
It wouldn't have been Zeb then. It wouldn't have. You're like, oh, it's somebody else.
Yeah.
If they didn't get the same voice actor, but he looks gorgeous. So.
Yeah, it's like, bring him in. Come on, we got to get the gang back together as much as possible.
Yeah.
There you go, Steve. Hashtag where's Zeb? I'm with you guys on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, it's going crazy. Thank you everybody for, like I said, for dropping in and supporting us. I appreciate it. Where are we at here now? Oh, Kat, I'd like to go over to you because this is when things started getting really good for me. I've already made it known, so I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. And now we go to my man. What'd you think?
I love him. I can't get enough screen time with him. I don't care if he's talking. He can just stand there and I'm like, I love you. So when she had asked him, oh, you lost faith or whatever, he's like, I lost it a long time ago. That line alone makes me, and I said this before earlier with his other line, I want to know more about him. How did he survive Order 66? Who was his master? How did he come to be a mercenary? Like all these things. Like I just want to know so much more about his character. Just everything he does is spot on, how he delivers it. Like he's just truly amazing.
You mentioned acting with your eyes. If this man doesn't have it down, I don't know who does. Kat, am I crazy?
No, not 100%. Like I said, he just has to stand there, or he's deflecting shots with his lightsaber, and you're looking at his eyes like, I'm gonna kill you. And people are like, oh crap, like they're frazzled. He's not. He's cute as a cucumber. Like he's so in control. I love it. And
it just got, we'll mention him as we get him, but it just got better and better throughout this episode as well. Really quick, Dave over at VTR is in the house.
Dave.
Yeah, it's good to see you, man. Yeah. Dave, we need another video. It's been about, Camilla, right? It's been about 2 months, Dave. We need another video. We need some more Dave. Come on, bring it on. Pete, Balin Skull, what you got for me, brother?
I freaking love this character. He's like
right.
my favorite out of this whole series now. I wouldn't have guessed that, going in, but yeah. And it's knowing that he has left us, in the real world is like shit.
Right.
Because I think somebody said it and you're like, I hope he gets killed off towards the end of this season because Matt said it. Don't want somebody else to play him. Yeah. Agreed. I don't want him brought back CGI'd or but I don't know. Knowing that this is all we have of him, I'm just like soaking in his, every line, the way he delivers it, his body language. I'm just digging it, and I'm right with you, Kat. I want to know more. Like, I feel like you could do an hour and a half movie just on him, and I want to go see it. I want to know more.
Yep.
Here's an idea, guys. Balin Skull canon novel book. What do you guys think? I would read that.
100%.
Would you read that?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because Rick is one of my most unstable yet completely predictable and fun people that we deal with. Let's talk about this really fast. I saw this all over his YouTube channel when I signed on a few minutes ago. I think Balin is Kenobi's younger brother. You said that last night. Yeah. Kat, is Rick crazy, or do you think that's a possibility?
He does have a strong beard game. I will give him that. He does have, and I said this last night in chat, he has the Obi beard, so why not? Why can't he be? I mean, technically he might be the right age. Sure, why not? Sure. Cool. I mean, Obi-Wan was BA. Why can't he be BA? Oh, he is. So, I mean, it could run in the family. Sure.
Fair enough. Okay. Pete, do you have an opinion on this or a prediction?
Yeah. Leave my original trilogy the hell alone. No, we don't.
All right, yeah. I love you, Kat. I'm going with Pete on this one. No, just no.
It's not, but he's got a strong beard game.
He does.
It works.
That'd be a great twist.
Yeah. Mr. B's with you, Kat.
I mean, some of his theories, no. This one, sure, why not?
Wait, here's the other one I wanted to. Oh, here you go. No, double, triple, no. Pete.
Oh no.
And Shin Hati is his daughter. What do you think, Pete?
What?
Nah.
No. Okay.
Too far, Rick. Too far.
Yeah,
Should've
too
left
far.
it
You
alone.
got. Yeah,
But
you lost Kat.
I said it last episode. We needed to have that wipe back to them on the planet and them having some interaction, so we got a little more meat to that relationship. But we didn't. We got cheated.
Exactly. There you go, Evan. I don't think you're going to get any argument from us. Balin is in the top 3 Star Wars villain, in my opinion, up there with Vader and Maul. Best character. Anybody want to debate him on that up there?
No.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. Yeah, he's awesome. Balin. Yeah, Dave. Balin and Shin are so cool, man. I tell you what, I'm having fun rooting for the villains at this point. Shin's looks can kill. I know. She's got talking about eye acting. Yeah, we're going to get to that too. Rick. Argue. He's not a villain.
He's not a villain.
He's an anti-hero. Let's go over here. Kat.
He's villain for hire.
Yeah, there you go. Yes. He does, in Rick's defense, he does have some very complicated motivations and is not just your typical so I totally get it. Yeah. It's like that was for you, Pete. I'm doing sound effects and twirling my mustache. Exactly, yeah. Oh, Michael. I think Shin is his daughter also. Oh, we lost Michael. Mr. B. See, now you're pushing it. You had Mr. B and you lost him. Okay. All right, let's good Lord. Let's move on here. I could talk about this forever. Kat, every now and then they would put something up on screen, the starter, and I would be like, oh, how about you, ma'am?
Loved it. I was like, yes, this is what I wanted. Let's go. Sabine, don't screw up. Because she's been so iffy and washy. And then I was like, is seeing Shin going to get in her head again? Is she, because she got stabbed and blah, blah, blah. So is she going to be like, I don't know, it's Shin. I had to go back up to her. I don't know. But, I'm really glad, though, like, she went after her like a Mando should have. She didn't reach for her lightsaber first. I do like that. I like that she's like, no, I'm going to go with what I'm confident in. Let's go. So I'm proud of that. But no, I absolutely love this scene.
Nice. Pete, what was going through your head when this popped up?
A little of the flashback with what was that, Force Awakens on the planet where they're battling in the forest.
Oh, that was Last Jedi, wasn't it?
No, the first with the
on the
Star
weapon
Killer.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah.
But I was like, ooh, which I liked that scene. If you can say that about those.
You can.
There's little
That's allowed.
bits and nods that you're like, okay, that was shot really cool. So I like that we're in the deep of the forest, and it's getting later in the day, and it's kind of like we were talking. All of a sudden, it's like wow, wow, wow,
Right.
and I'm like, oh, we're gonna throw down, and we already know that this is going to be a very interesting battle. It's not necessarily going to be like, yeah, the good guys are going to win. So I'm like, bring it on.
The word I would use is foreboding. Do you think that's a good word?
Oh, that's a great word. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I would like everybody to take a moment, and Jeff points out that Morgan is one of the best villains he's seen in a long time. Such quiet malevolence. She's doing pretty good. The problem is she's next to Balin's skull, which is really making it hard. But what's more important is everybody. Let's all say goodbye to Mr. B, because I don't think we're going to see him again after this. Reminds me of my wife, Joe.
Yeah.
I haven't been married very long, so I think we've been together 10 years. But I'm not sure that's what you're supposed to say, Mr. B. Pete, Kat, you want to help me out with this?
Alas, poor Mr. B, we knew him well.
Yes.
As long as she's not on YouTube at all and ever watches him, he'll be fine, because we're literally outing him as we speak. So as long as she's not listening, has access to YouTube, he'll be fine. Otherwise,
you're out of here.
Or nobody on your nose.
Screenshot this chat.
Yeah, screenshot it and sends it.
Yeah, I'll have to private this broadcast afterwards. Yeah, okay, yeah. There's John. It's always good to see you.
Hey, John. What's up, dude?
Oh man. All right, we're moving on down. Well, since we're talking about the anti-heroes, Rick, for you, the anti-heroes, not the bad guys. Pete, I'd like to start with you on this one. This is where we examine up to now what we think of and how this actress has been doing, and what we think of the character Shin Hati, my friend. What say you?
I fully expected her to. I mean, I like her, but I really wanted her to be like, "Hey, you got a stomach ache?" Or that.
Looks. How's he doing? Yeah.
Be like, you're walking a little crooked there. That kind of. How you healing up? Something just to get that dig in. But no, I quite enjoyed the fact that she's going saber, Sabine's doing blasters. And of course we get them running off, like, I'll get this one, master! Pew, 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 pew. Right? And you're like, oh, wow. They weren't even together for a hot minute, and it's already going south. And I'm like, yes!
Mr. B, I'm glad you have a sense of humor about it. I had no idea. I apologize. So, but I see LOL at the end. Yeah, yeah. So I don't think any of us knew. So, but I'm glad you have at least a sense of humor about it. So, I love that. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Eesh. All right. They really like a long pause before a lightsaber battle. Yeah. Don't they? Yeah. That would have been funny, Pete. I just thought about that. Hey, how's the kidney? A little crispy, a little overdone? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, a little. I smell burning.
Oh. Oh no, wait, there it is. Shin is pretty bad. I'm digging her and her dad. Oh, Corkit, Rick. Corkit.
Listen, you had me at Obi's brother, not her dad. Okay, I don't know.
All right, perfect.
No.
Back over to Obi-2's daughter here. Kat, what are you thinking of the actress that's portraying her and the character as a whole right now at this point in the show?
I love her. I cannot, just like Balin, I cannot get enough of her. What the heck is her story? She's got the Padawan braid. Like, what is going on with her? And she is so. Let's see what's the word I'm looking for? In tune with Balin. He says one thing, like, she respects him so much, because he just says she'll question something in the beginning, like she did, like, what's this lady want? And he's like, she's crazy. He's like, no, you have to go here because we need her apprentice, all this kind of crap. Like, she's, oh, okay, cool, got it. She is just, and then her abilities, she doesn't need him to hold her hand. You go do this. I told you what to do. Handle it. And guess what? She handles business. I love every moment of her. I love this fight. I love her to death. And she can give Hera pointers on how to act with her eyes. Because like they said, her licks will kill you. Yes, like she's looking, I'm going to force choke you or punch you in the throat or something, right? Like you're feeling that all the time with her. Like, she means business. Like, I'm sorry, but if I was a rebel and looking at her, I'd be like, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm running. Like, I will run away before she just looks at me. Oh, okay, I'm going. Like, you don't want to mess with her. And I love that.
Kat, she looks unstable in a sinister way to me.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful.
Yes.
I hear
You want
Motley.
your villains to look unstable, though, right? Like,
I hear
kind of
Motley
want that.
Crue. She's got the looks that kill.
Yeah. Dan.
Yes.
Dan. All right,
Yeah.
Wow. But
Yeah.
you know what? I'm going to throw this up again so it makes, Rick agrees with us.
Oh, my goodness.
Kat, I'm going to stick with you for a second because, I love you.
Yes.
But I got to put this comment up.
Salacious.
Kat is looking very radiant tonight, just like the second best puzzle streamer on YouTube after Mr. Blobby.
Okay, so I'm gonna hide this up for the.
We all
nice
know
part,
that
but
Blobby should be doing time for that whole pyramid scheme theme park.
Listen,
She said listen.
he. I think we've well established during my 12-hour stream who's the number one puzzle stream. That it took him 12 hours to try to finish a puzzle, and then he couldn't even finish the last piece. And I did too. So, I mean,
Yep.
Fair enough.
He doesn't even need the glue to finish the puzzle with, because well, that just never gets to that step.
no.
Agree.
No.
Matt,
Love you, Salacious.
yeah, you guys will have to you'll have to take that up with each other. I just wanted to light the fuse. I'll watch somebody else's YouTube
Thank
channel
you.
when it explodes. So yeah, that'll be fun.
Sweet.
Shin is a Padawan ready for trials. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, those. Yeah, exactly. JT, those beautifully sinister, crazy as a herd of cats in her head. It's awesome. Yeah. Let's see here. Jeff, has anyone else noticed the armor that the bad guys are wearing? Shin has shoulder pauldrons, and Merrick had a full-on Knight's helm. Story direct indicator for me. Really quick before we move on to our next slide, thoughts on that, guys? Kat, what do you think, ma'am?
When I was watching it for the millionth time, I looked back and it looked like he was wearing something out of Clone Wars, just painted darker. So I was like, oh, sweet. And then it just goes back to how old was he with Order 66? How did he survive and all that kind of stuff? But I think he looks like a Jedi, just, hence the name Fallen Jedi. So
really quick, Shin gives the same look as my wife when I come home with a bag of toys. Wow. We are just endearing ourselves to Pete and I are behaving, right? Pete, we're not in trouble. Everybody else is. So yeah.
no.
Ding.
Exactly. Yeah. Pete, thoughts on the armor question that Jeff poses there?
I totally saw that as a callback to Clone Wars armor with the pauldrons. But yeah, the fact that we haven't seen Merrick with the big knight helmet up, we've just heard him talk, which I thought that was pretty jaw-dropping. That it was like, oh, we finally get a little bit of interface with him, other than like sick him,
Right.
good dog.
Yeah. So I did notice it looks like metal armor, and I've wondered that a little bit, but there's been so much else to talk about. But now that you guys say it, it's very medieval. It lends to the characters. Yeah, it's probably Clone Wars stuff that they've. Yeah, that's a good point. Pete, let's stick with you on this one since Kat got to go first on the last lightsaber battle. What do you think? And you know where we're going after this, but as far as the choreography and the battle between these two and some of the tells, what did you think, Pete?
I really, again, enjoyed the fact I was yelling at Leslie. I'm like, look, she only brought out one saber. Like, she's that confident that she's going to take out this Inquisitor, that she's not even getting both lightsabers lit. Like, she's like, that's fine. I'll do what's the stance with just the one? I forget what that battle stance is called. So I'm not that versed in the
her Boken stance?
Yeah.
The Boken stance, yeah.
Boken stance. Yes, thank you. So yeah, I was like, oh, it's on. I was like, she's gonna school this dude.
Before I go to Kat, Pete, we've, at least I for sure, have had a little bit of a problem with not Rosario Dawson as a whole, but some of her stoic disengagement and not showing much expression on her face. As far as her facial expressions and stuff during this fight, I got a little something different. Did you notice or care? And what did you think?
Yeah, I thought she was much more intense invested in this battle. It wasn't just a, okay, remember how this sword play is supposed to go. The script says, 3,
Right.
2, 1, go. It just felt more fluid to me, but also very, for Ahsoka, that cool, calculated moves. We're going to get into that real quick with the next slide. I thought that was very appropriate for Mr. I'm going to like spin my lightsabers, because I was like, oh, we got to go all Inquisitor and,
Yeah. She's, oh, Mama's got a situation for that. But, Kat, what did you think of this? Because this one seemed to stand out a little bit to me. What did you think of this lightsaber battle and the choreography, and especially how Rosario Dawson did here, ma'am?
I loved it. I was so happy with this. And this honestly brought me back to with the Tales of the Jedi. We had that little scene where she had to fight an Inquisitor, and she took him down with his own lightsaber. And if you watch that show, she had a smirk on her face, like, I'm not worried. Like, she kind of balled her fist and then kind of just relaxed, and then she ended up taking his saber, slashing him down with a smirk on her face. If you watch this scene, she's watching him, she keeps getting a smirk on her face, and she was exactly how she was in the Clone Wars. So I absolutely loved this moment. I thought it went back to all the kind of the fighting training that she's had with the different samurais. Their inspiration stuff. She totally pulled that off. I absolutely loved it. It was, again, not the 1, 2, 3. It was very fluid, very happy.
Good. So it looked like we all saw the same thing, and I'm glad you brought that up, Kat, because I did actually watch. I forgot what that was. Was that season 7 of the Clone Wars where she killed the Inquisitor?
It was actually in the Tales of the Jedi, so it was just 4 episodes. It was like Dooku was younger, and then she's in hiding after.
That's what it was.
66, and then she's helping people like in a little village, and one reports her because she saved somebody.
Okay, I didn't watch the first series of the Tales of the Jedi, or maybe anyway.
It's the 4th one.
Okay.
So it's not super long, but that's the one where she fights the Inquisitor. So it's not like she's unexpected, like, oh, it's Inquisitor, crap. He has the same lightsaber. She's used to it. And she was younger back then too. So.
Because that's what I got out of it too. When he started spinning his lightsaber, that little smirk came across her face, like, "Oh, you're an idiot. I got this." And I was like, "That's so cool."
Yep.
Pete, over to you. Because you're the one who first mentioned this, Kat, and I agreed with you. I like that in this episode we went back to here's what these people are doing. Now let's go over here and see what these people are doing, and let's go see and it really added to the excitement, because before we get a resolution on that other fight, we're back here. What do you think of how they're doing this, and what did you think of how these two ended up fighting with their lightsabers, Pete?
I like that we went to sabers, that, Sabine pulled that out. And
she didn't have a choice.
She didn't have a choice. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, we know that typically you're not very good with this. Although I was like, you're ticked off. You're in the heat of battle. We know that you do better when you get angry. So I'm like, oh, I think this is going to go, again, pretty evenly matched to a point. So, yeah, I liked that we got some good saber battle with them. Yep.
Agree. Compare and contrast versus their first meeting. Better, worse, the same, Pete?
Way better. Way better. I mean, that first meeting was just like, when she just comes running out, like, I'm going to kick your butt. And it's like, oh no. No, you're not. This is. Yeah. But again, we know, obviously, Shin's got way better training than Sabine has, with that Padawan braid, and you see that obedience to Balin. Like, she's excelling at the Force on the dark side, if you want. The gray side, definitely. We meet again at last for the first time. For the
first time, right? And the good news is both their Schwartzes were the same size.
Let's see how you handle it.
Exactly. I thank God, because I'm like, this scene is going so well. Matt said at least he didn't use the spinning lightsaber as a helicopter, and we've talked about this in other shows. If he had started to, if
he flew away, I'd be like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't Batman Returns penguin me, okay? For God's sakes, whatever. Like, that was, yeah. So we didn't get to see that. Kat, over to you, ma'am. Your thoughts on this fight where she finally got forced to pull her lightsaber, and then towards the end, if you want to compare and contrast to their first fight, what you thought, how they compared.
So much better. From the first fight, she pulls out like, I got a lightsaber. Oh crap, she does too. She kind of fumbles it, and then kind of got what she deserved. But this one, she actually holds her own for a little bit. And I was really surprised about it because I was like, oh, this is going to be a slaughter to the lamb, or lamb to the slaughter. But I thought they had a great fight. I thought it was very well balanced in certain parts, and then I think that kind of pisses off Shin because she gets super angry with her, like,
Yeah.
this isn't as easy as before. So I really liked it. It was a good surprise, and I'm happy that she finally pulled up some of her training from everything. So
Nice. Rick makes a good point. Ninja smoke, pow! I'm out. Speaking of Batman, Hati drops a bat bomb. Yeah, I was like, hey, I've seen this before. Michael Keaton had those. Yeah, exactly. Kat, we're gonna stick with you, and I'm not even gonna say anything. This is all you.
I am so excited. So it makes so we don't. Oh, who is he? Blah, blah. I'm so glad he wasn't stupid Ezra. I'm so glad he wasn't anybody that we knew. So happy about that, and the fact that he was a Night Brother. And then now I'm thinking about it like, oh yeah, why didn't I think of that? It didn't even come in my head that it could be a Night Brother. But so this is, if you remember back in Clone Wars season 5, when the Emperor kills Asajj Press, Darth Maul's brother, what happens? He comes out with green smoke because he's a Night Brother. He was infused with strength and power from Mother Talzin. So obviously she does her thing, and I think that also shows how much more powerful she is than we've really seen. Yeah, she's playing with the treasure ball and stuff. Okay, and yeah, she kind of held up her part with dueling Ahsoka and Mando and stuff like that. But if she can pull this off, she's way more powerful than than we're actually being able to see. But I absolutely love this, that he was a Night Brother. Just tickled me pink.
I agree. There are videos around the Night Brothers. Hold on, how am I going to ask this right, Kat? There are videos going around that show that the Night Sisters, the powerful ones, have the ability to resurrect people for a certain amount of time. Is that what is that what a Night Brother is, Kat? Is that what this is?
No, not necessarily. So they can do that. But with the Night Brother, so if we look back in Clone Wars, you look at Darth Maul and Asajj Press, they were taken because, the males are used as slaves. So they would pick out, you'd have to duel each other and stuff like that. Well, they would do their incantations or whatever, and Asajj became like this massive beast. So he was given more strength, more power, more everything. So he was a force to be reckoned with. So they can do that. So with Merrick, I'm thinking, okay, if he was an Inquisitor at first, Vader and the Emperor dead, he's going to not have their loyalties with him anymore, because he's going to be like, okay, well, my masters are dead. What am I going to do? Morgan finds him. Hey, you come work for me, because she sees the ability he had, but I'm going to make you even better. I'm going to give you some extra stuff. That's how I see it.
Or alternative theory here, Kat, as JT puts it, he was just made of Grogu's farts.
For me, all those toads.
I think these shows are all about seeing different people's point of views, and that I can confidently say that one did not come into my brain at all. So thank you, JT.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I overlooked that. I'm sorry, I overlooked that.
And then Matt, when this happened, I felt something. There was like a million fan theory videos cried out and were suddenly silent. I just got to put it up. What did I predict? I'm like, he's nobody. He's just a dude that she got to help out. Hashtag I was right.
Yeah.
I have to rub it in because I'm never right about anything. Pete.
Good job.
Yeah, thank you very much. Paul did something right. I did hit live, right? Okay, we are live. All right, good. Right, we've been talking for an hour. I hope so. Pete, when you saw this guy, first of all, the way she struck him down, it reminded me of that Obi-Wan Kenobi Darth Maul fight, which I thought was totally cool. And then when he turned into green mist, what's going through your head? What did you think? Did you like this? What's up?
Yep, immediately you see that he was full of magic with a K, very Mother Talisman.
Talzin.
But the fact that we aren't on Dathomir, where those powers are even stronger. We're on a completely different world. I was like, oh boy, she's way more powerful than we've been led to believe. Like, we knew she was a very good baddie, but the fact that her witchcraft is super strong, like,
wow,
witchy woman.
She got
Sorry,
the wolves in her eyes.
Good one.
That's like, oh, my earphones, Cat. Oh my gosh.
No, I was just thinking, like, with Ahsoka taking him down, like, for a second I was like, what the crap happened? Because she literally stays in that stance, right? Or
Yeah.
however she had it. She's just frozen.
I love that kill shot.
And I was like, what the crap happened? Like, and then you just see the burn mark. And so it took you for it, but it happened so quick. I'm like, what the crap happened? You have to keep watching over because it's so fast. And she's just like, yeah, I don't need to move again because I already got him.
Mm-hmm.
What was the term you used earlier, Kat? That was BA as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole
yeah.
Mic drop.
Right. Which is actually kind of a good thing. Because there were a lot of theories out there like, okay, we're really starting to load up on bad guys now. Somebody's got to go. And of course, because here comes Thrawn. Like, how many bad guys do we need? And there goes the Night Brothers. Yeah, so that was awesome. The way they did it, stunning. Loved it. Well, Kat, let's stay with you for a second since I've got you. And then when foreshadowing comes true, a circular Star Wars theory. Go, ma'am.
I mean, of course.
I got this!
Yeah. I mean, did you have it last time?
Did you have it last time?
She got it all right.
You kind of, right? Seriously. I mean, you did get it. But I mean, crap's going to happen. So I honestly wasn't sure what to expect of this. But I'm just like, you don't got this.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
No. But
You're going to regret this decision.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
Highly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. But it did. I'm glad that I was right no, they're going to separate. So.
Pete, I mean, the robot all but told us what was coming in Act 3 or Act 2, excuse me. They're going to separate. But when it happened, I was still screaming at the TV going, no, just go kill this woman. Oh, why? What are you thinking, sir?
Yeah, I'm like, well, how soon you forget being a shish kebab. I got this. And I'm like, no, this is going to go poorly. And then the whole, like, act like she's using the Force. I mean, I like that she got Mando crafty because she's more than just guns, a saber. Like, she's got those gauntlets on there. We saw that she got those gauntlets back in Rebels when she was training with Kanan and knows how to use those when faced with somebody who's a way better Force user, which is literally anyone else than her.
Right? Yeah.
So, yeah, I like that it was, the... And then Shin's like, you don't got no
minute.
power? What the?
Right, exactly.
Like, nothing happened. Like, I got a little indigestion, but wait a minute. You got nothing.
Because she stood there for a second, and then she's like, I didn't get thrown against a tree. Yeah.
For a second, I thought they were going to make her, like, actually use the Force. And I just kept saying, no, don't.
Yeah,
no,
don't do it.
Don't.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm so glad it was like kind of like a little bait
the little
switch.
wrist rockets.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was how you're supposed to do that. If she had suddenly, forgive the term again, Mary Sued into the Force and threw her, I would have turned it off and been like, I'll watch the rest of this later. This was perfect. She went, hiya! Just kidding, pow! Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And yeah, Dave's got a good point. At times you do have to wonder how intelligent all these characters are. Teamwork. It's not that hard. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Let's see what Rolando says here. Shin and Sabine ran far before they fought, and then Ahsoka was fighting nearby. Yeah, I did notice that they convenently were real close back together. Yeah, but,
like they circled around or something. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We got to move the plot along, right, guys?
Yep.
She killed him. But anyway.
No.
Pete, let's start off with you, and then we start to get the beginning of the third act, which just things just start getting off the chain. What's how the beginning of this? Like, we get some more dialogue from Balin. What's going through your head, my friend?
The fact that he's just cold, calmly waiting, like he knows they will come to me. And the fact that he robes up, hood up, and just waits, I mean, was just delicious.
Pete, question. So Ahsoka fought the Night Brother with her smock on. Did you notice the difference in this fight? Like they both got up.
Yeah, it's like
go.
Yeah. So first, she pops up on the plateau there and stellar cartography land, and
you're gonna piss off everybody with the Star Trek again, Pete.
and so, and I'm like, always got the hood up for some dramatic effect, which I'm like, cool, I'm digging it. And so then there's a little bit of chat back and forth where he's taunting her. Obi-Wan never mentioned you, or
Anakin.
not Anakin never mentioned you. I love that she did that dig back, like, I'm not gonna fall for your mental manipulation. I'm way better than that. I'm not little snips anymore. And he like just takes his robe off, and then she's like, okay, this is real. And but the fact that she's the one that first lights her lightsaber, not him, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. That's the new Star Wars thing. You can tell if the lightsaber duel is going to be impactful and important if everybody takes off their cloaks and stretches for a second, so. Kat, how inevitable? I mean, go take it from there, ma'am. What did you think of this whole scene?
Phelan knew it was coming. He said it before, so he knew it was going to come to this. Now, I have a different take than what Scuba said. So first, I do have a pet peeve. She's not dual wielding. Why? I'm a little upset that she's not dual wielding. So that's my only pet peeve.
That
about
didn't
this.
make
Otherwise,
sense.
Right? Because he's stronger. She's amazing with them. Like, so I hated that. But other than that, now I took, because he's so calm and calculated, and let's face it, almost everybody in Star Wars has PTSD. Okay, she's no different. Leaving Anakin, finding out who it really was in season 2 of Rebels, that what Vader is Anakin, that broke her, because she even said, I'm not going to leave you this time. So when he used the line, Anakin talked highly of you all the time. Oh, okay. He's bringing up her sore spot. And then him saying, you abandoned him. He's bringing up stuff that she feels guilty of, and that she's been fighting with herself. So to me, I took that as her saying, I'm not here to talk about my past, and then ignited her lightsaber. She's pissed, and she's kind of like, let's just do this, because now I'm pissed off. You're bringing up stuff I don't want to talk about. So I felt like it made her a little more unstable than her.
More edgy.
So like, right. So like with her fight with the Inquisitor, she's smirking. She's fine. She doesn't have to say anything. But with him, I'm not talking to you about that, because she knows how much it affects her. So that's how I took that part of that. Because he knew he could play that. I felt like he knows exactly, because he has so much information about everything for whatever reason, because he's everywhere.
Right.
So I think he really played on that. And we see that throughout the duel, him saying stuff to her. So I think he was purposely messing with her and kind of off-kiltered her a little bit.
Wow. Kat, that is in depth.
Okay.
That's brilliant. No, I'm impressed. I think you're nailing that scene perfectly. Yeah. We're going to go to the next slide, but before we do, Michael makes a good point here. We've got another Indiana Jones parallel. She burned the map onto her hand.
Yes.
So
yes,
they can still get there if they need to, if they can get her back. Yeah. So yeah. I will admit that sometimes I'm masquerading as a nerd, you guys. I like to fit in and pretend like I know what the heck I'm talking about, but the rest of the time I need help. Pete, Kat, Matt says, Anakin is Vader, Vader is Anakin, Finkel is Einhorn. Someone explain this to me.
Einhorn is Finkel. Oh, God. It's Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Okay, all right, fair enough.
Yeah,
all right.
Cue the crying game.
Yes.
Oh, I've seen YouTube videos that. Okay.
Yeah.
It's got the plunger.
Everybody on the force is vomiting because they find out it's a man. Yeah, because they've all made out with her or whatever. Yeah. I recommend it.
Yep.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. Pete, let's start with you, Kat. I'm sorry, Kat. Let's start with you on this one, ma'am. So I showed this one briefly, you touched on it. That's why I wanted to go back to you. And Dave brought it up as well. Why? Or maybe some. Yeah. Here we go. Why is she not using 2 sabers? Theories?
I don't know. Is it because she's frazzled a little bit because of him talking? I don't know. I don't understand her point of, like, again, I know she's confident with the Inquisitor. Why wouldn't she with him? That's what I don't understand.
He's a much bigger foe.
Exactly. I mean, she did it with the other droids and they weren't half as strong. You know what I mean? Granted, there was a lot of them, but still, why wouldn't she be more comfortable? Because that's her style. So I honestly don't know, other than she's just razzled. I don't know, but I do like this scene because she's using the walls more and stuff like that, and that felt more of like the animation style. It again, this, she did not 1, 2, 3. You know, she was fluid with it. He was fluid, of course he is, but you know, I felt it was a great fight between them both.
Steve agreed with your assessment, or my assessment of your assessment. Kat, yeah, excellent analysis. Pete, what say you about? Because I have a theory, but I want to hear yours if you even have one. Why is she only using 1 lightsaber, Pete?
I honestly, I thought it was a very bad choice. Theory wise, I mean, we saw that she was trying to reach out to grab the treasure orb. I mean, the map.
Right.
But you're right. Yeah, it's like force pull it over. Like, isn't the force stronger than witch magic? Like, right. I'm confused at this point. That's, I guess, where I was. I'm soaking in this great fight scene, which I thoroughly enjoyed. But I'm like, you're just one sabering it. You're Ahsoka Tano. Dual sabers. Hello. Yeah, call them Map of MacGuffin.
Map of MacGuffin, yeah. Why didn't Ahsoka use the Force to grab the map? This is real easy because we needed to have a fight between these two. I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? She can't just grab it and run off. These two have to have a fight. So here's the thing. Here's my theory, you guys. Every now and then I'll weigh in. Matt mentioned it. She might have only used 1 saber because she wanted to grab the map. That's true. Eventually. Rick, I don't think 2 saber style is good for solo battle. Michael Hendrickson, Form 5, he even knows the form. Maybe she was using Anakin style because this guy would have been familiar with her 2 sabers or something, so she tried to do something different.
Interesting.
And then, of course, Leslie, she was just trying to be a badass. I mean, come on, let's just be honest, right, Pete? Yeah.
Well, she is riding the high of taking the Inquisitor out in one little swing.
You know what though? I think this part, she's, like I said, I think he's really gotten to her because she's always calm, right, with the fights. When he's close up to her and he delivers that line, your legacy, like your master's, is one of death and destruction. Dude, that pisses her off. And then what? She kicks at him. She does all this stuff because she's letting what he says get to her. But I do like her unhingedness with it. But I think it's also making her sloppy because she's so emotional with what he's hitting on her.
Actually, you know what? You just changed my mind, Kat. I like your theory better. I'm being dead serious. I don't think it's a form thing. I think he's getting into her head. That's the difference between wisdom and youth.
Yeah.
You know, as Pete will tell you, fight smarter, not harder when you get older. And so I think that's exactly what he's doing. I agree with you, Kat. Wow. Steve-O's yelling at me. What? You haven't seen Ace Ventura? Your homework calls to watch the movie Your Life Cannot Move Forward until you rectify this. Fair enough. Okay. Oh, goodness.
Homework for this weekend.
Yes.
That's not Snowflake.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Dave, I'm no battle strategist, but here the objective should have been to move the ball, not kill Bailey. I think at certain points we just have to do that suspension of disbelief, maybe too. So,
I also like during the fight scene we're getting the upload of the data. You know, like the clock is ticking. It's getting chink. Chink.
Yes.
Chink.
Those droids were awesome. I don't know what kind of droids they were. I forgot to look them up, but those were cool looking droids. I liked them. I
agree. I love the design aesthetic. They're very. I forgot the name of the TV show from the 30s, but they have that really cool, but they're brass and silver and stuff. I agree. Kat, you've been killing it with the analysis of this scene, so I'd like to start off with you this time. Because and this is what changed my mind. You said that, and then I looked at this next slide, and I'm like, oh, that's what it is. He's gotten into her head. And then when she thought Sabine was dead, that's what finally pushed her over the edge and got her really sloppy. What do you think?
Why can't she fill Sabine with the Force? When every time somebody's died, you feel that, look at Yoda in the middle with the battle on Kashyyyk. he dropped his cane, and because he could feel who died,
Yep.
right? Everybody feels there's been a disturbance in the Force when somebody's been killed or whatever. You know something's off, or you can't feel them anymore. She is so wrapped up in her own head and trying to do everything. She can't feel her. So I love what she does to Shin.
Yes.
But yeah, it just, to me, it further shows how much he's manipulating her and how much he's gotten in her head, because she's better than that. But he hit her soft spot, her, her whatever spot. So
Pete, what about you?
Yeah, at this scene in the battle, things are definitely going south for her. I liked that she did kind of a Anakin slam Shin against the rocks. It felt, when Anakin snaps and he's going into that control room, and just killing the viceroys and all the, people are getting slammed and slashed, and I was like, oh, she's not on the light side. She's dancing back over to the dark side. And yeah, definitely getting under her skin. I mean, it certainly explains the fall off the cliff scene, because I'm like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you let yourself off the, really? Like, you knew you were fighting on a,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, you knew you were fighting on a cliff, but you still let yourself get danced over there to, I mean, I know it makes for good TV, a good fight scene. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it, but yeah, she's way better than this.
Well, to me, it pulls from the animations. She was a lot like Anakin going through her training. She would start overreacting like him. She'd be super emotional, just like him. And I mean, she still is. She's still a lot like her master in certain ways, and this shows it.
Really quick, I got a kick at this. That move's called the Dino protein pancake move, by the way. We slam some anyway.
Oh,
okay. Pete, you kind of brought something into sharp focus for me, and although I enjoyed this scene immensely, I think some of what both you and Kat are saying actually helps make it even more cohesive. Is what we're getting here, him talking, her suddenly realizing that Sabine is not dead, or at least or not alive, she thinks. Is this all trying to show us a culmination of Ahsoka just completely losing all of her her discipline and just kind of becoming a wreck? Is that what you think's going on here, Pete?
Yeah, for a brief moment, yeah, the poops hit the fan mentally. Here, I thought it was going to be, you thought it was just going to be expressly Sabine, right? Like,
right.
She's the one that's going to be tempted to dial into the power of the dark side, but clearly, she's not the only one.
Nah. Again, Kat, you first brought it up, and you did so brilliantly. This is Balin's skull at his finest, using that wisdom to just very quickly get into a very stoic woman's head. Is all of this a culmination of what began like that into messing with her head?
Yeah, I mean, if we look back at the earlier episodes when she's talking to Hera about, she said, "I left Anakin," before, she goes, "just like I left Sabine." She has regret there, and that's why I felt like she ended up going back to Sabine and trying to, reach out to her again, because she has guilt over it. So the fact that she's so frazzled, she can't see past nothing. Yeah, I think it speaks to that for sure.
Agree. And then Pete, you mentioned it, but Kat, we're with you right now. So then all of a sudden Sabine shows back up. And we start to see the conflict. What are your thoughts on what's going on here, ma'am?
Oh, me? I thought you said him. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, you can be Pete if you want. Kat, Sabine.
Oh, okay. I'm
yeah.
sorry.
That's okay.
Go, Pete can go. Pete can go. I didn't hear. It cut out, so I was like, "Wait, what? What happened?" I'm sorry.
Yes, Sabine with the "I'll do it. Don't." And I'm like, oh, your bluff is going to be called so hard. And then Balin is immediately, doing the same mind tricks on her. He's using that wedge of Ezra that he knows is there against her. Like, just give me the map. You know, you want to find Ezra. Come on, just give it to. And and you're like, don't do it, but you're gonna do it, and that's what reluctantly, like, yeah, okay, here. But that whole like, I'll blast it. Don't make me. And it's like, it wasn't a very good bluff.
Okay, yeah. So that was going to be my question to you. As soon as she picked that thing up,
very poor bluff.
Okay, yeah, she didn't immediately shoot it. Yeah,
it took a freaking saber to like pierce through it to break that thing even in two. It's like, oh yeah, blaster fire is gonna. Oh, it ricocheted off. Crap.
That's a good point. Hey, Arthur, it's good to see you. Thanks for coming in, man. Kat, Sabine shows back up and starts this 13-year-old teenager dance of, I'll do it. I'm going to shoot this thing. What's going through your head with this scene playing out?
Then you would have already done it.
There you go.
I mean, you're going to do something, you're going to do it. How many times do we see a movie, somebody fighting over for a gun and they just shoot it? They don't go, oh, I'm going to shoot you. They just do it, right? And then you're trying to figure out who got shot in the scene, right? Who's dead. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it. Of course, she's hesitating because she doesn't want to lose Ezra. And then, of course, Balin being Balin, he sees this while, still fighting Ahsoka. He's like, oh, I got her to play now. So let me finish. Let me finish with your master, and I'll be with you in a second, sweetheart. That's how I took it, right? So, and then of course that put her off of like, oh, Sabine, and off.
Yeah.
To go see the wizard.
I'm not dead yet.
So yeah, I think he's amazing. I said this in Rick's chat yesterday. He turned on the charisma and he's like, give me the ball, baby girl. Just give it to me. Just give it to daddy. I got it. Come on. You got it. There you go. Like he talked his way into it. Just like, and I feel like it was easier to get to obviously Sabine than Ahsoka, but yeah, he put his lightsaber away all quick because he didn't need to. He knew exactly how to play her.
Agree. Pete, what was going through your head when you saw Ahsoka take the sea dive?
I'm like, seriously? I'm just like, can't you like we've seen Anakin dive off, a speed or not Anakin, sorry, Obi-Wan dive off a speeder, on Coruscant and do all the, I'm like, shouldn't there be some more control? Shouldn't you like pop back up something? You're a mighty force wielder. Like, you're better than I fell off the cliff. I'm not dead yet. I'm just very badly bashed.
Right? Yeah.
But I did like that after that. Yeah, Balin put his saber away. Like, he's just making himself that much more approachable. Like, come on, just bring it to me. I can help you find your friend.
I got to be honest with you. Obviously, we know how this episode ends, and we're going to get there in a minute. But I thought towards the end she was going to pop back up, kind of like Princess Bride. If you hand me a rope, this will go a lot more quickly.
Yeah. Dread Pirate Roberts.
Exactly. I thought she was going to come back up and be part of the scene. Pete, we'll stick with you very briefly since we're here. You guys have touched on this a lot. Did this surprise you? I think I know the answer. Pete?
It didn't surprise me, but, inconceivable. Yes, it was.
You keep using that word. I don't think that word means what you think it means.
Yeah, it was like, she's getting drawn closer and closer and closer and closer with his lovely wordplay. I mean, these lines are delivered by Balin. Just, they're delectable.
Yeah. This character's frustrating the shit out of me, excuse my language, but watching this scene with him is just like, God, this guy's good. So Kat, what are your thoughts on this, man?
Easy. Like I already felt like she with everything he was saying was perfect. I think it made it easier. Now I don't think she's betraying anybody because I think all her head is, this is the best way for me to get Ezra back. This is the only way to find him, and her ultimate goal is, forget Thrawn, I need Ezra. I can't do this without Ezra. That's been, I feel like, her motivation for everything. So, of course she's going to give it to him. And then how he sweet talks her, yeah, of course. That's a no-brainer. That was easy.
Totally agree. Couple of things. She's like the Terminator. She'll be back. If you look at some of Rick's comments, I won't put them all up. He's the happiest guy in the world that he thought Ahsoka was dead.
Oh, I know. I heard it on a show yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
JT, I thought she'd land on the DeLorean. The Doc would knock out the villain with the door.
Oh.
More importantly, the only reason I know Princess Bride is because it is my wife's favorite movie. So she makes me watch it.
Great movie.
Yeah, it's good
Good
to
call,
see you,
Sarah.
Sarah. Yeah, you keep using that word. Yeah, every now and then she doesn't watch TV. She doesn't watch a lot of movies. I'm the entertainment nerd in the house. But every now and then she'd be like, "Can we make popcorn and watch Princess Bride for the 312th time?" So I'm like, "Yeah, sure. That sounds good."
Yeah.
Good
it's
answer.
a great movie.
Yes, yeah, and I can do. We can do the dialogue through with it now. That's why I know
Sure.
all that stuff. Pete, we got a serious question here from Steve-O. If she lands in the ocean, is she scuba snips?
Whoa.
No, but I did think she was all washed up.
So stupid, Pete. I love it. I love it. He's all watched up. Oh my god. And then
Wow.
this is funny, considering we were shown the bridge of the Stargate. Hold on. I wasn't surprised. So yeah.
And
So-
the Eye of Sion, why it was like in the atmosphere hanging out. It wasn't even out in orbit of the planet. Like it was just, like it's right here.
So I thought that was interesting. I didn't take a picture of it because we had so much to talk about, but I thought that was some of the best cinematic in the whole series, and it was coming out of the clouds.
Yeah, that was a cool.
Yep.
That was very cool. And then, of course, here we are. And now we go to the netherworld, and off they go. Yeah. Oh, see, Matt, you're going to fit in. Matt, I do not care for this Princess Bride. Sarah, who doesn't like the? Look at, see, we're behaving,
Not
Scuba.
like Carrie Ellis.
I got to be honest with you.
Oh.
Matt's wife must not watch YouTube, so he's going to upset my wife. So.
I mean, listen, my favorite line is "Boo, boo, rubbish, you had true love.
Yeah, you're right, exactly.
Bow down,
Boo.
bow down."
Down to the Princess of Sludge, right? Yeah. Oh my God.
Somebody passed me the iocane powder.
Right?
No, mine.
Never go in against a Sicilian when death is on the line. Oh my God, yeah. Oh, look at Matt. Here we go. Here's the husband back shuffle. I'm not saying it's bad. I just put it in the. Yeah, too late, buddy.
Right.
Too late. Yeah.
Right.
Kat, we have 2 more slides, and I'm going to start with you on both of them because I know. I mean, come on, your name is Vader's girl. Slide number 1.
Okay, so right before this, I actually had two different thoughts about where she was before I saw this, because as soon as I saw this, I knew instantly where she was. But before this, I was like, did she survive and she's actually on the ship, and is it going to like pan out to her actually being hidden on the ship, before it takes off?
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of thought that, and then I was like, wait a minute, it's the ocean. Are the Purgles going to come up with her riding on them? Like they got her. But as soon as I saw this, I was like, holy crap, it's World Between Worlds. It looks absolutely freaking amazing. Because again, sometimes it doesn't translate. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. And I'm going to totally cry. But as soon as, because I watch everything with subtitles so I don't miss anything. As soon as, hello, Snips, I screamed at the TV. And I was like, no! And then I literally just lost it. I didn't even see him yet. I just started bawling my eyes out. And then him saying that line and then seeing him, and I have so many thoughts about this, but like I completely lost it. And it took me a while to regain my composure because I was not okay. And I thought this was a perfect way, instead of like a flashback, which they still may have, but I love that it was something current with her old master. I have some thoughts though about him. Okay,
please.
Why is he back in his dark outfit when he was in the end of Return of the Jedi? He was wearing different robes, right? He was wearing the more traditional light-colored Jedi robes. So why is he all of a sudden? Does that have some purpose? And why does he need a lightsaber? And that's not his lightsaber. I have his lightsaber, so I know what it looks like. That's not his lightsaber. Why does he need one? Why? What's going? And then, why is Vader's theme playing at the end of it?
Uh-oh.
Huh? So I'm emotional and have all these questions. What's going on? So, but I loved it. And I mean, for her, I felt so happy for her because it instantly brought back to them and how he's smiling at her and stuff, even it may be ominous. But with her, it's just like Anakin instantly, not like, oh, you were Vader. No, just it felt like right back at that moment, she had her best friend back, which broke me.
Wow. Dang, Kat. And you noticed a lot of stuff that I did not notice, and I have a lot of questions. And so did a bunch of other people here as well, like wrong lightsaber, wrong clothes, everything. Pete,
right.
when you got this stuff, where was your head at, Pete?
One, it was cool to see, okay, World Between Worlds translated to a TV show from animation. That was excellent. But immediately I'm like, how the hell did she get there? Like, did that Anakin pull her through a portal? Like, we know that's how you can get in there. So I'm like, did Anakin's now pulled her in? I was immediately like, how did we, I mean, as soon as the way they panned that shot from ocean to you start to see the bit of her head, I was like, she's in World Between the World. I didn't realize, or I'm not savvy enough to notice that that's not the correct saber. But yeah, I was
okay,
like,
he's not your man. It's all right.
Right,
I was just like, why are we playing Darth Vader's thing to end this? It was an ominous, clearly it is causing more questions than it answered in that brief moment.
I know they de-aged him a little bit.
Yeah, that I didn't.
Something. I don't mind it because I'm man fun anyway.
But
I mean, I've liked him since he was a teenager. But anyway, there's some like also ominous in his face, like in his eyes, that was just slightly off. Like it's not him. So is that just because of the shadowing and the lighting and then the de-aging, or again, why are you playing Vader's theme? And then, like you said, like who saved her at first? Like, did Ezra somehow get to World Between Worlds? Did he save her? And then, if not, who? So but I absolutely love this reunion.
Nice. There's a lot of conjecture in the chat, and I want to sum this up in 3 questions that I have for each of you. Kat, I want to start with you. Is she really in the World Between Worlds, or is she unconscious and having visions because she's at the bottom of the ocean?
No, I think if this is Anakin or whoever this is, totally saved her, just like Ezra saved her the first time with her battle with Vader in season 2. I think she's definitely saved.
Okay.
So I definitely think she's there.
Okay, so she's definitely in the World Between Worlds. Number 2,
yes.
Is that Anakin? Yes or no? Or is it something else, a vision that she's seeing, or is it a bad guy masquerading? Is that really Anakin?
I mean, as much as my being wants to say it's Anakin, I can't say with 100% because Vader's theme is playing. Why does he have a lightsaber? And why does his face just look slightly menacing? I mean, yes, it's that heartwarming, hey, it's Snips, it's my girl, and then also kind of menacing. So I would love for it to 100% be Anakin, but there's just too many questions for me to say yes.
Okay, and that's an excellent way to look at that. And third and final question, then Pete, I'm going to give you the same 3 questions. Is this an excellent cliffhanger still, or no?
Yes, thank you. I've been asking, do a good cliffhanger, with make it a little bit longer. Yes, absolutely, 100%. Finally, show me a good cliffhanger, and they did.
That's what I thought. I'm like, there's Kat's cliffhanger she's been looking for.
Yes.
All right, good. Pete, over to you, my friend. First question: is she really in the World Between Worlds, or is she hallucinating underwater doing her scuba snips thing?
I think she's really there. Yes.
Okay.
But it's this one. We knew like Palpatine could force visions of loved ones and use that to twist. We did that with Ezra. It's like, oh, please don't make this Palpatine's like, and I'm giving you what you want,
right.
to try and I know. Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay. So you're gonna equivocate on that one. That's a smart play, actually. All right, let's assume she's really in the world between worlds just for a second. Then, is this really Anakin? If she is, or is this a hallucination? Is somebody masquerading as him? What say you?
I hope that it's Anakin. I want it to be Anakin. I didn't like the de-aging on it. I'm like, come on, what is so hard about getting this really believable? I mean, I just felt like the shadows were a bit too forced on his face. I don't.
He's beautiful at any age or stage.
He's a beautiful at any age. Computer de-aged or not.
I don't care. Look at the man. He's gorgeous. Anyway, computer degraded or not. Call me.
I like that this is a cliffhanger. I want to say that is Anakin and that he's truly wanting to help her. Obviously, you can, in World Between Worlds, you can see into different places all at the same time through those portals. So are we going to get to see Ezra, in the other galaxy? Is he going to show her a glimpse of that? I think so.
You know what? I'm not even going to offer my conjecture. I'm just going to ride high on the fact that the Sith brother was nobody and just leave it alone. But I will tell you, I agree with you guys on this. It's an excellent cliffhanger for sure. And there are a ton of theories about what's going on here in the chat. I just simply don't have time to put them all up. You guys, I mean, it's definitely Anakin. It's not Anakin. She's hallucinating. She's not really there. When I saw this, my first thought, now that everybody hasn't tainted, before everybody started tainting my opinion, was that she somehow got sucked along with the ship into the world between worlds. And because she wasn't actually on the ship, it dumped her off on one of these bridges. And this is actually Anakin and he's there. So that's what I thought. But now, people are making a lot of good points. And Pete, here's the thing I worry about. Turns out in Rise of Skywalker, it was Palpatine the whole time. And somehow he returned.
Yeah.
And if they do this whole thing where I was showing you what you wanted to see, Ahsoka, yeah, it was spoiled all right. It spoiled the whole movie franchise is what it did, Kat. But
that's for the next show.
Okay, yeah. That was, I just hope it's not that. I'm going to go with, here's what I hope it's not. I hope it's not I hope she's really there with him because that would just be cool, you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, nice. All right, well, you know how we do towards when we start winding down here, you guys. Pete,
Rick,
what?
She did.
Yeah, he's just desperately, yeah. Right, yeah, Evan, somehow Palpatine return. If they do that in this series, after especially our highs off of this episode, I'm going to be so upset. Hey, check it out. I got a 2 family member gopher. It's my brother Alan. He's dropped by.
What's up, Alan?
See him. Hey, I got to do it. I'm sorry. Hey, Alan, check it out.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
That's what happens when you accidentally hit the button twice like a doorknob, Pete, just so you know.
What a lovely singing voice.
Yes, it's lovely, yes. What was I going to say? Oh, so we're getting towards the end here. It's been a lot of fun, so we're gonna move into the last portion of the show here. Kat, and you like to run them all together, so I'm going to just let you go. Best thing they did, worst thing they did. What's your number 1 to 10, ma'am?
Anakin, duh. Best thing. That's always going to be my best thing.
Of course, yeah.
Vader's girl. Hello. But honestly, I really don't. I mean, again, my faults are going to be Hera because it's just not Hera. That's. Mm-hmm. But minus that, because she did redeem some points when she's, she's leaving to go help her friends. Once a rebel, always a rebel. I'm like, okay, that's cool. So she redeemed some points, but the whole episode, start to finish, I loved every second of it. And I know I keep saying that, but it's a great stinking episode. I don't really see how anybody could bash it. And just because my boy's back, it's a 10.
Yeah.
I bawled my eyes out for a 10, and I got a 10.
And Kat, we didn't know each other that well when we started this, but at the end of this, I was like, I already know what's good. I already know what's bad. I know what her number is going to be, and I'm glad.
I mean, if I could go off the scale, what infinite number. So, and then I'm sure next week it'll be even higher. So
they better not let us down.
Infinity,
exactly. +1. I love you 3,000. Pete, over to you, sir. Good, bad. What's your number, my friend?
My number out of 8 out of 10
Okay.
I thought this was the best episode yet. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think what they did really well was the fight choreography, scenes, but coupled with the temptation of
Yes.
that emotional manipulation. I thought that was done really well. What they did poorly, I'm like, oh, they just did the frickin' holdover maneuver with the Ring of Sion, and they're like, oh, there's this large buildup of energy, and I'm like, oh, so we're gonna get in the way of it. You're like, yeah, that's a good idea.
I didn't think about that, Matt, but that's a good point because I wasn't sure what was about to happen, and when I saw that, my brain processed it, and we moved on. So yeah, that's a good point. We have a couple of minutes left here, guys, so I'm going to pull up some of the comments to see what other people were saying. Of course, Rick, Balin was by far the highlight. Or wait, was it Ahsoka getting killed by him? Yeah. Matt, this whole episode was great. Overall, I think all three of us would agree this was a much better offering than the last time. Evan, this episode was a 10 out of 10 in my opinion. It's the best thing Disney has done with Star Wars. Wow. Okay, dang, that's high praise. This episode was specifically, but also the show in general. We need some good projects, but this is great. Depth, Pete. Depth and sophistication of the characters this time is what we got. Yes, and the cinematography of going round and round, the temptation of Sabine, the lost. I mean, thank you. Just actually some emotion in this show. I agree with you. There we go, JT. He's got an 8.5. That's not bad at all. Evan, I loved Rogue One, Andor, but obviously this is at the top. Wow, that is strong. Yeah.
High praise.
Yeah.
Nice.
G-Force is at a 9.
All right.
Wow. Flex is at a 9. Strong
Hey,
9.
what's up?
Yeah. Yep. Mr. B, 9. We didn't get the chance to say hi to Flex or Darth Wizzy Wizard. They've been in here. It's good to see you both.
Good
It was
to
a
see you
great
guys.
episode for what it is. Okay. I'm surprised, Dave, because Dave made some very excellent points about character development stuff that, as good as this episode was, were valid. But he still gave it an 8.5. Not bad at all. All right. Well, let's do a little housekeeping. What do you guys think?
Chill.
You've been watching the Ahsoka Breakdown Show here on Paul's Collectibles with Kat and Scuba Pete. It has been a lot of fun having you guys in the chat with us, and some of the things some of you say just crack me up, and I know that these guys appreciate it. We're here every Thursday, 1 p.m. after the show's air until it finishes up. We're halfway through. Am I right, guys? This is 4.
Yep.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So we got 4 more to go. I don't know if we're going to get 2 again like we did at the beginning, so theoretically 4 more shows. But thanks for being here with us, and if you can join us next Thursday, we would greatly love to have you. And I can speak English, and I used to speak English for a living. Anyway, and as a reminder, our final episode, each of us is going to pick 2 guests to come on, and we'll have guests come on for 15-minute increments, and I think that's going to be a blast.
Yeah.
And Wizzy Wiz gave it a 9. Rick still an 8.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but I'm with Rick. But here, Rick, this is the gray beard people. Okay, Andor was for us. Okay, Ahsoka's for a slightly different demographic, but he's not wrong. And then let's see, Dino. I give the episode an 8.5. I did watch it twice because I did fall asleep again.
He said that last week too.
Yeah, he's got the same problem I do. I have to watch these at like 9 in the morning, or we're screwed. I'm not going to be able to do the show. 9 out of 10 could have been a 10, but Hera. Yeah, Michael, I don't think any of us are going to argue with you on that.
Yep.
No.
Matt, no problem. I appreciate you checking us on the rewind. That is nice of you. And Wizzy Wiz puts it best, and I think we'll kind of go out with that one. I like how different these shows are. Pete, are you noticing the different style with each one?
Definitely. I mean, I loved Andor. I like that slow burn that we got, and we didn't talk about Jedi and all that. So I'm liking this kind of mildly slow burn, but we've got space battles, lightsabers, but we're not, dragging in some serious OT stuff. Like, leave that way over there. Don't look at it.
Mm-hmm. Agree, very much so. Kat, what are your thoughts on the different styles that we're getting here? Are you happy? You know what I'm saying?
Booty.
Did someone put that in there again? Oh God, yeah, space booty. No, Rick. Like I tell you, incorrigible.
I agree with you, Rick.
Yeah, G-Force. G-Force takes it a little to the edge, but you get the meaning I'm going here with Kat. Are you happy that we're getting different types of Star Wars, or would you rather see them all kind of like Ahsoka?
No, I love the different stories because for me, it's all about the backstory. I felt like Andor, we saw him in Rogue One, which was absolutely amazing. What's his backstory? And I love that. I think it adds so much more. So like when I watch Rogue One now, I'm thinking about everything that happened in Andor and how much more I appreciate Andor in Rogue One and stuff like that. So I love all the styles. I don't think there's ever any lulls or filler episodes because I'm easier to please. But so I'm happy with all of the different variety shows.
I'm up and down. Obviously, Andor, I absolutely adored. This is really good. The only thing that I wish they could just erase from my memory is Book of Boba Fett. I'm going to be honest. I had that action figure when I was 9 years old, and that's not the Boba Fett that I had in my head, and it's not their fault.
Yeah.
It's mine. So, you know how it is.
That's okay.
Same.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I did not mail away all my proofs of purchase to get that Boba Fett.
Right. To get a guy who's like, no, we're not going to charge him. What Shabby put it best. He's the worst bad guy ever. He doesn't want to kill anybody. Doesn't take any money from anybody.
I was like, what is going on?
God, well, who is this guy? The reformed Boba Fett show.
But he gets to ride a Rancor.
Right, yeah.
He gets to ride around.
I want to ride a Rancor. I want a Rancor pet.
Yeah. So
I had one in a Star Wars game. I caught it on Dathomir. I trained it. I got to ride around and attack the Night Sisters. Nothing better than that.
I would rather watch Book of Cat than Book of Boba Fett. That sounds way better. Oh my God. All right, you guys, let's wind it on down here. You know how I do. I never hit end stream until I give you a chance to make sure you had everything you needed to say. Cat, chivalry always prevails. You get to go first, ma'am. Anything else you'd like to say before I wind us down?
I'm just so excited for next week. I know they're showing some of the episodes in movie theaters, so does that mean it's a longer episode, or is it more intense because they're offering that? So either way,
I didn't know that.
I'm super, yeah. But when I looked at it, it was only like 6 years across America, which really sucks. I mean, so nothing near me.
Huh.
But so I'm excited for that just because I think they're pumping it up. So I'm excited to see, if it is Anakin or not. But either way, I can't wait for next week. I wish it was Tuesday again already. And who knows, maybe we'll see Rick's theory come alive that it's actually revealed to be Obi-Wan's brother. So,
one last
Rick to get something right.
Yeah, right. You had to get something right. Damn, girl, pop. Pete, we're going to go over to you in a second. Kat, one last question from GeForce. Speaking of Book of Cat, when's the next number one puzzle stream?
Probably not tonight. I haven't decided, but for sure tomorrow. I have Luna Girl on with me tomorrow night.
Cool.
Oh, okay. Programming note: go check out Vader's Girl 28 on YouTube to check out the puzzle stream with Lunar Girl tomorrow. Pete, it's been a blast as usual, my friend. I always enjoy having you guys on here and spending time with you. Before I go, last thoughts, anything you want to get out, sir?
No, I thoroughly enjoyed this. I knew this was going to be killer conversation. Great episode. I like the cliffhanger. And it leaves me again. Yeah, it's like, is it Tuesday yet? Like, excellent. No, I don't want it to be, for as much as I want to go back and rewatch this episode yet again, just to again soak in it a little more. Soak in it.
Dad jokes.
That's all I got.
All right. Once again, thanks everybody for joining us in the chat again for some Pete dad jokes and some of the best analysis you're going to get on the internet from Kat. So with that, I'm going to get us on out of here. Gotta have ticks all kinds. But with that, we'll see you guys on the next episode.
See ya.